Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me for another special AppScan Tuesday session. This is our 19th episode, and today we have a special event because we are releasing a new version. AppScan version 10.0.2 is coming. It will come to your table on September 9th officially. And to celebrate that event, I am bringing a few of the product management team to the show today. So, hi everyone. I have Florin here, I have Billy, and I have Ran to this side. So before we go, and I know we have a lot to talk about it, about this version. Our previous version was released, correct me if I'm wrong, it was June, right?
Correct.
10.01? Okay, so part of our continuous delivery with the on-prem, we are releasing a new version, a new dot version every quarter, at least once a quarter, and with new capabilities, improved capabilities on previous versions. And just a short introduction before, not everyone remember you, not everyone are seeing all the sessions that we had. So Florin, tell us a little bit about your role here.
Absolutely. My name is Florin Coada, as you can see it on the screen. Kind of obvious. I look over the static analysis part of the AppScan portfolio, and this includes AppScan Source, which we're going to cover a bit today with the release coming in September, and also some of the static analysis components that get used in some of our other platforms like the cloud platform. Billy, over to you on that side.
And Code Sweep.
And Code Sweep, one of my favorites.
Yeah. Billy?
Okay. Yeah, hi, I'm Billy Weber. I'm the product manager for AppScan Standard and AppScan Enterprise, and the DAST engine is also part of our cloud solution. And today I will describe the new capabilities we have in AppScan Standard.
And Ran.
Great. So Ran Klein, I'm the product manager in charge of the IAST solution. Last time we discussed about how IAST was integrated into ASOC, and today I don't want to spoil ahead, but we're going to talk about our on-prem solution.
Cool. Sounds good. So I'll jump into the slides. We are going to do a mix of slides and demos here as it fits. So here I'm starting with the slides. Just to let you know, again, releasing AppScan version 10.0.2. As you know, AppScan, since V10, we started to focus a lot on its fast, accurate, and agile security testing. AppScan was known to be very accurate and very focused on the security testing side. But with version 10, I think that we showed the industry that we can do it the DevOps way also, with fast and agility while maintaining the accuracy level that we have. We focus all the time on these three themes, and still with version 10.0.2, as you will see from what my colleagues will share, we are focusing on fast and accurate scans. That's the first thing. We understand that customers need to run faster, but we want to make sure that we maintain the accuracy level that we had before. It's not easy. We had to use some really interesting technologies here in version 10, and we are improving them. Billy and Ron will show you some of the capabilities there. From the secure DevOps point of view, we are focusing a lot on fitting your DevOps pipeline. So Code Sweep that we just mentioned, but it's not just Code Sweep. We had some other updates to our plugins. And the idea here is to make sure that the plugins, AppScan works with the plugins the same way that you would expect the plugin to work. So we are not imposing different experience on you. And all of that while entertaining the needs that you have to run application security program as a big enterprise company that you are, with the ability to govern and have visibility and the control and scale that you have. So without wasting too much time on the overall, I want to bring Florin in and to let him talk about AppScan Source 10.0.2.
Thanks, Aidan. So for us in AppScan Source 10.0.2, we've definitely spent a bit more time on the enterprise management and focused a bit around unifying our platform even more and consolidating things. We started with AppScan Source in using AppScan Enterprise, our new data store mechanism. Traditionally, AppScan Source and AppScan Enterprise kind of have separate storage mechanisms. And as part of the 10.0.2 release, we are consolidating everything under AppScan Enterprise. This means that actions that used to be traditionally performed and done by leveraging some of the other data store mechanisms, and I think our customers will recognize SolidDB and Oracle databases as such, will go with Enterprise. So if you want to share custom and pattern-based rules, want to share any filters or scan configurations, this will all be done using AppScan Enterprise. One of the long-standing requirements of our customers as well have been getting assessments to be shared by AppScan Enterprise, and this move to new data store mechanism allows us to do that. So the raw assessment files, the famous OZASNT files, will now be able to be shared via AppScan Enterprise.
So Florin, if I'm existing AppScan Source customer, is there anything that I need to change in the way that I operate?
That is a great question. So if you're an existing AppScan customer, if you're just wishing to upgrade what you have and you're now looking to switch to this new data store mechanism, you are going to do a simple upgrade. We are going to continue whatever you had installed and set up as your data store. So if you're using SolidDB or Oracle, for you will be a simple upgrade like any other. Will not package any database binaries there, but you will still be able to use the ones that you have installed locally on your environment. Okay. So only for fresh installs, we're looking at this. Existing customers, we don't want to cause any disruption, and you'll continue to be able to use whatever setup you had in place.
Cool.
The next step from this was disconnecting AppScan Source for analysis. Traditionally, AppScan Source, any component require an enterprise component in there, having AppScan Enterprise present in that deployment. But we are hearing from our customers that they would like to do more with AppScan Source in disconnected mode, similar to how AppScan Standard has been brilliantly doing this for years. And we are creating this capability in 10.0.2, and you'll be able to do everything you used to do previously. So you can create custom and pattern-based rules. You'll be able to create filters and scan configurations, save them locally, and use them on your own environment without having to reach out to any enterprise component or any external storage mechanism.
So just to emphasize on this one, because Peter shared this and we got some feedback, both Peter and myself, for partners and potential customers. Yes, that means that you only buy AppScan Source for analysis. You don't need, we're not forcing any additional component on you. Which
that is correct.
For new customers, especially.
That is correct. And this is something we've seen a lot of security teams asking us for. They're on their own, they're isolated, they're kind of doing their own individual code reviews, and they want to have a powerful tool for this. And AppScan Source for analysis is definitely going to be that tool.
Great.
Additionally to this, we are looking to do more for the DevOps space, so we added a few more languages, as you got used to by this point. We have been improving our Angular support. We are now officially supporting versions 8 and 9, and we added support for the Ionic framework. So if anyone is doing any mobile development, cross-platform using the Ionic framework, this is also available in AppScan Source. We also improved the support for PHP. We added support for the Symfony framework. And we added 2 new languages, TypeScript support, for which you had some previous partial support coming from Angular, but now we have specific TypeScript support added, and support for those that are using Groovy. One of the big changes as part of this release is the fact that we are switching to HCL licenses. So for those of you that haven't already done this move, definitely reach out and we'll help you through the journey. Make sure that you will be able to run the latest version without any delay.
Yeah, and you can catch the video from last week where Anthony showed us how to set it up. Pretty straightforward. Opens the ability for you to use a cloud license server, not just local, which we couldn't do before. Florin, just one question. So you're referring 4 languages here. Let's see, from your memory, how many did we add since this year?
Oh, that's quite a list. I think we're up to 10. If not right 10, we're very close to it or over it. But we have been doing a lot more progress with languages. We've been spending a lot of time doing research in this space and training out our research team to be able to tackle languages a lot faster. And it's not just the roles. I think people, whenever they consider scanning, they think, hey, can I find stuff? We spend a good amount of time in writing the advisory information about how to address the problems once you find them, specific to that language, specific to the API we highlighted for you.
And we're definitely not finishing here. By the end of the year, we expect a decent number of additional languages.
We have a few more lined up. I think we're going to have another session on AppScan Tuesdays talking a bit more about the languages we're adding and some of the work we'll be doing for the mobile space. And I'll leave that as a teaser for our next session.
Cool. Thanks, Florin. Moving to talk with Billy now. Hi, Billy.
Hi. Okay, so I'll first start with covering AppScan Standard capability and then move to AppScan Enterprise. So AppScan Standard and AppScan Enterprise, both products in this quarter, we were focused on the theme of the fast, accurate scans, both about capabilities for having faster scans and also on the core capabilities of producing an accurate findings and accurate results. The first capability is the incremental scanning. So if you remember, we introduced incremental scanning in version 10. Back then in AppScan Standard, we provided the ability to create incremental scan as part of a full automatic scan. In this release, we increased the capabilities and added the ability to create incremental scan also based on manual explore. And we also introduced a new wizard for that. And I will demo it shortly.
Yeah, I love this capability. I mean, I still believe that incremental is groundbreaking with dynamic analysis, and it opens the door for running DAST all the time, right? I think that what you did now with this version is another great step into that direction and making it easier and faster for people to use AppScan Standard and DAST. Yeah.
Yep, we hope so. Okay, the next is improving the coverage when we scan Angular applications. We improved the support both by supporting more elements and more actions. And now the coverage should be much better. And this is not the end. We plan to continue and invest in this direction. We also added support for AWS Authentication v4. So if you have your application on Amazon Web Services and you use this authentication, it is now supported with AppScan. And like in every release, we added a group of new and improved security testing. It includes both new tests and improving the core capabilities of the engine for supporting new technologies for security testing. And you can see the list here. If you want to get to the details, you can read the release notes. And as Florin mentioned, HCL license is mandatory in this release. So plan for it.
And I think now we could talk, we could have a full session just on the XSS Analyzer, and maybe we will do that another time. But for those who are not familiar, XSS Analyzer is basically our ability to try out millions and hundreds of millions of different variants with very dedicated, very focused based on some probes that we have on testing for cross-site scriptings. It was released, in 2012, I think, Billy, or more or less, or 2016, long time ago, and was groundbreaking then, still groundbreaking. So we just go to other entities now with the headers. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and we continue to improve it, and it provides us the ability to have really great coverage for XSS.
Yeah.
Without sending too many requests to the site.
Definitely. I'll jump to the AppScan Enterprise.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We're in the AppScan Enterprise slide now.
Okay, but okay, I don't see it updated.
It is updated, so.
It is updated?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so for AppScan Enterprise, the main capability we added is IAST, Interactive Application Security Testing. This is a new technology that we added before in the cloud, and now we are adding it as part of AppScan Enterprise. Ran will present and demo it, so I will not talk more about it here. The next is the work that Florin just mentioned about the integration with AppScan Source, where a lot of the data of AppScan Source is now kept in AppScan Enterprise. It's not a big change for AppScan Enterprise users, but it is another step in making Enterprise one solution for all technologies. Next, we added support for Windows 2019. I know some of you were waiting for it. And we also have support for silent installation. This is supported both for the server and for the scanning agent, and it can help you simplify the upgrade and install processes. And of course, all the DAST engine capabilities that I mentioned when I talked about AppScan Standard are included in AppScan Enterprise as well. And those are included in ASOC as well.
Yeah.
And of course, license is needed.
Yeah, and I think that what you went through here, AppScan Enterprise used to be a DAST enterprise solution, and now with these two changes, we are going beyond that. It's your application security enterprise solution with the integration and visibility into the IAST and the SAST gives you really the all-in-one experience that we wanted customers to be able to have. Customers that are using all our capabilities will have them all in one home in AppScan Enterprise. We took it to the next level. So, Billy, do you want to show us the demo that we talked about? Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, just a second. Okay. Okay, so I'll talk about the incremental scanning and show a demo of how it looks in this in App Standard. So, as I mentioned, incremental scanning was introduced in version 10, but it was more limited. The idea and the goal behind incremental scanning is to enable you to have much quicker scans, to have fast scans that are really focused on the changes in the application. And the way it's working is that AppScan gets explore data of two scans. One of them is the base scan, and the other one is the current scan, and compares this explore data. And by this comparison, it identifies the new areas of the application. For example, it looks for new pages, new parameters, new cookies, anything that can be tested. And when these entities are identified, we test only those as part of the incremental. Okay, so let's see how it looks in AppScan Standard. I have here a demo that I recorded and I'll explain it. So here I have a scan that I did, for example, a week ago on some part of my application. And now I'm going to create an incremental scan based on it. So you have this new option here. And you see the wizard that is presented. The first phase is to select the base scan. And you see some details about this base scan. Now, the next step is to tell AppScan whether to test only the new areas or also to retest previously found issues. Which this is the default, and this is what I'm selecting here. The next step is to tell AppScan how to explore the site. AppScan can either do automatic explore or manual explore. And in this demo, I'll show the manual explore path. So here we see the manual explore dialog open, and I'm going to look for some pages in the application. So these are the pages that I had before, that I explored before. But now I'm going to add 2 more pages that are new, that I just developed. So first I'm logging in into the application. And now I'm going to a page that enable me to transfer some amount. This is, of course, a demo application. I assume most of you are familiar with it. It's called Altor Mutual, and it's like a banking application. So I explore this page, and I'm also clicking the search capability. Both of them were not part of my base scan. So this is actually the new area that I'm testing now. Here I can see the links that I explored, and now AppScan imports this data into the engine and is doing analysis to identify the entities that can be tested. Now this analysis is done, and I'm going to tell AppScan to test. I can either continue full scan, which will continue automatic explore and test, or select test only. And this is what I'm going to do, because I want AppScan to test only the pages that I explored manually now. So AppScan now starts the testing phase. As you can see, it jumps and progressed very quickly. And the reason for these jumps is that whenever it identifies an entity that was scanned already in the base scan, it just skips it. So what we have here is that AppScan only tests for the new entities, the new areas of the application. And because I also asked to retest the previously found issue, AppScan also retests those, but it only retests the issues, not all the potential vulnerabilities based on these entities. Okay, now let's go to the data view. In the data view, we can see the new areas that AppScan found. So for example, we see here a new column, and we see 3 new requests that were identified by AppScan. Those are new in the new scan. And I can see similarly in the parameters. These are the new parameters that were found in this scan. And I have this information for other types of entities like JavaScript and comments. So now let's go back into the issues view, and I see that I have here 6 issues. In my base scan, I had 5 issues. So there is 1 new issue that was identified in this incremental scan. We see this is mentioned, and we can see exactly which is the new issue. And when I click it, I get all the details as usual, and I see here at the top that this is a new issue. When I click another one, I see that this is a retested issue. And in addition, here at the bottom, I can see that this is an incremental scan. So that's it for the demo, and we'll be very glad to get feedback from you on this exciting capability.
Cool. Thanks very much, Billy. It's indeed looks impressive, and I can't wait to get feedback from customers. It should save a lot of the times for the application security experts when they just need to make some changes and do the incremental test, basically. So appreciate all the great work. And Ran, I think you're up next. So bringing you in now. Hi, Ran.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, we actually brought IAST into the enterprise solution. So as Eitan said before, now it's a more comprehensive solution that will also include IAST in it. And you'll be able to get real-time vulnerability detection using our IAST agent.
So let's see. We had customers complaining that everything only comes to the cloud, right? So let's see what you brought to the on-prem now.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. now when you can see my screen, you can actually see the latest version of AppScan Enterprise. This is version 10.0.2. The main thing that you can already notice is that we have a new column that shows per application how many IAST agents are already installed and how many of those are actually active. So essentially per application, you can run multiple IAST agents if you have a lot of microservices or for any other reason you would like to have more than one agent reporting to a specific application.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to enter to this application, and you can see that there are no issues currently associated with this application. And here on the left pane, you will be able to see that we added a new tab for all the IAST agents associated with this specific application. I've already downloaded an agent, but as you can see, it did not communicate with our servers yet. I'm going to download the agent and just make sure that my Tomcat has started. After unzipping the file, all I have to do in order to install it is to drag and drop the WAR file into the web application file of the Tomcat server. And as you can see, we already deployed the agent.
Okay, so basically this is very similar to what you showed with the ASOC video, where although in that time Tomcat wasn't running before, so I guess that's an opportunity here to show that if Tomcat runs at the same time, you don't need to restart it, it's just extract the WAR and load that web application. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to open my application. So we are running on a local machine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to visit the Alturo page.
It's very similar to what Bill just showed us with AppScan Standard, but a local install of a local deployment of this application.
Yes. So now that everything is already installed, I can show you that even though we did not encounter any new issues, the agent should be already communicating to the server. So the first communication property should be filled with the date that we have right now.
And just to explain the viewers, Ran is working from home with somewhat problematic Wi-Fi connecting to a AppScan Enterprise machine on the other side of the world. So that's the latency that you just showed here.
And the beauty of IAST is that I don't need to do any malicious interactions with the application. All I have to do is just interact with the application in a normal way, and IAST will leverage my interactions in order to validate the application and try to locate any vulnerabilities that might occur. So I'm just going to enter random strings and submit them.
Which makes it perfect for the work that the teams are already doing with QA, not trying to identify any security vulnerabilities, but you're leveraging what they already do as you mentioned in the previous session we had.
Exactly. And as you can see, we already have issues arrived to the enterprise server. We can see all the details. We have the details that you usually get from static scans. We have the source and sink, and we know the line of code where the vulnerability triggered. If the issue was related to any sanitizer, we would give you an example of a string that we use to bypass the sanitizer itself. And
Ran, if
I
you
think the most
again,
exciting, yeah.
If you refresh again, will we see more items because of the crawling that you did, or am I just pushing it now?
Depending on the interaction that I did, but I'm assuming that we should see a bit more issues already stacked up.
Okay.
But I guess not. Everything depends on the interactions that you do with the application. So if you're running automation tests or manual QA, that would generate a lot more issues.
And just to highlight what you mentioned on the sanitizers, so one of the beauties that we have in the IS solution that your team built is that we are able to validate what customers may deem as a sanitizer. We don't need to just take their development word on it. We can indeed validate it with the with the unique technology that we are using there, which we are issuing a patent on.
Exactly. So essentially, we took all the know-how that we have from the research team, and we leveraged that into actually validating the strings. So we'll be able to know if the sanitizer works as it should or not. We don't need to have any assumptions made.
Yeah, and improving the accuracy of our solution. So this is great. Any comments on differences between what we have in AppScan on Cloud and AppScan Enterprise when it comes to IAST?
So we put a lot of effort in having a unified experience in both platforms. So the experience is very similar. It's almost exactly the same. In both applications, something that I didn't mention, obviously you don't have to actually interact with the interface. You can do everything that you saw here directly through APIs, and that's make it perfect, in my opinion, for anyone who have like a robust or even like a basic build structure. So it can be integrated directly into your build flow.
Cool. So we really hope people will use it. It's coming next week. Ran, let's bring you in and talk about how customers can get their hands on it. Okay, so Ran, thanks. This was a great demo. I mean, really cool stuff, and we see that AppScan Enterprise follows the step of AppScan on Cloud as customers were hoping. Now I'll do a marketing sales kind of thing. And Ran, how much this will cost to the AppScan Enterprise customers?
So that's the best part. We were so excited to get this new engine out and running on the enterprise portfolio. So we released it as a technical preview, meaning that every customer that will essentially update the version of the enterprise server will be able to experience with the new IAST engine.
Wait, at no cost?
Yeah,
I'm
really absolutely serious.
So yeah, we want customers to use it, right? We think it's great. We know it's V1, right? It gives a lot of value. We are using it ourselves within HCL, and we see customers on the cloud using it. We want to grow the adoption. We want to gauge feedback from customers, and we want it to use it. We don't want the pricing and the cost to be a factor. Not at this stage. We reserve the right to negotiate that later, but not on this version for sure. So really, really exciting. A lot of good stuff that the team has brought here. Any last comments? And let's do it, by round again. Florin.
Ask me how much it is to get access to Code Sweep.
How much is it to get access to Code Sweep and the new languages that you added?
It's a great question, Nathan. It's actually a community edition, so it's free to use for everyone interested in doing some more secure development in Visual Studio Code. So we're looking forward to see you using that as well, and definitely join our community.
Yeah, and just recently, right, you had integration between Code Sweep and ASOC. So for our paying customers, they do get more value, but everyone gets value, and we see that with the, close to 3,000 downloads now already.
Well, it's definitely growing fast, and we're getting positive feedback. So as always, just go there, try our product, give us some feedback. We're happy to listen to you, and we definitely want to spend more time with the developers community.
Great. Billy, no charge for incremental scan either, right?
No charge. No.
No
additional get all the
charge.
Capabilities.
Right? Yeah,
sorry?
Someone corrected me. No additional charge. We shouldn't say no charge.
Exactly. So you get all the capabilities represented at the same charge that you already pay for the products. So I hope you'll find those useful, and we'll be glad to get your feedback about them.
Yeah, and Ran, you just spoke, so I'm not asking you again. But basically, for those who didn't upgrade to AppScan version 10 yet, you're missing a lot of good stuff. I mean, many of our customers, we are only 4 months into AppScan Standard V10, 5 months now into AppScan V10. And as you can see, a lot of good capabilities, good features are coming, and we are continue on doing that. Reach out, right? Upgrade to AppScan V10. Thanks everyone for joining, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.